Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another show of a street man and a Christian woman. And tonight we're going to talk about support. Support groups, to be exact. What we gain out of support groups is we get a lot of wisdom that we pretty much don't get too much anywhere else. We also go to church, but we seem to get more support when we go to the support groups. The one thing about the support groups is we listen to stories that's real. People are in there telling their true life pain of what they're going through, what they're suffering from, and we sit around and there be a discussion with no back talk to where anyone can actually voice their opinion about what you are going through. But to hear the stories of other people in their lives and the trials and the troubles that people are going through help us because it shows us that we're not alone and that there are other people out here in this world that's going through things just as well as we are. And that's where support come in. And people kind of frown. Like when we post on Instagram that we're going to support tonight, we don't get that many supporters because people, I don't think, really understand it. I don't think they understand that support is having someone there for you by your side, listening to your pain, but not passing judgment on your pain, but giving you an open place to where you can release your pain. Because there's a lot of sick people out there that don't release their pain, don't realize that there's help out there, don't realize that you need support when you're going through time of trials and troubles and tribulations and things that in everyday life, there's nowhere to go. The church is okay, but the church don't quite understand how to be there for you. They understand if you're going through issues that may make you be sinful or ungodly, they can speak to you in that behalf. But I'm talking about someone to support you when you're down, someone to listen to you when you need, someone to be there for you. And that's why support groups are so important to us in our life. And we suggest that those that are going through trials and tribulations, that they go somewhere and get them some support. Support is the new way of the new world because it seems like we have a lot of people that just don't trust God anymore. A lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people don't believe in churches. So a lot of people don't have the wisdom, the understanding of keeping God in their life. But for us, we keep God in our life. That's what keeps us grounded. And we go to support groups to help us with our emotional issues, I'll say. Because everyone have emotional issues in some way, in some form, or some fashion. It's just that do you go get help for it? Or do you just let it stay in you and escalate until one day that you just explode because you didn't get help? And some people don't even know that help is out there. And that's the moral of our message that we are here, that we're starting a support group for marriage. We're talking about marriage and relationships, but at the same time, we want to allow ourselves to maybe be a marriage support for those that are struggling in their marriage. So what we're going to do at this time is we're going to see what Miss Kenyatta have to say about support groups, and then I'm going to come back and close. So on to you, Miss Kenyatta.
Yes. The reason why we are talking about support, our show is to help others and give back. Support can be merciful, open to talk about your pain or problems without being judged. The bondage people are in, from addictions to codependent, verbal abuse, people that are in dying need of help. People can refuse to talk about their personal problem. But in the support group, the personal pain of a relationship that they are in, they have the freedom to talk about it. Being accepted. When we are not accepted by our loved ones, you can keep being about you can keep hearing about reoccurring problems and different solutions to deal with it. People are afraid to be transparent, open to new ideas, coming up with new solutions because you are not in bondage. Those are just some key things that we are putting out here that we really are trying to represent. We're trying to be a support group because at the end of the day, we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the wisdom to sustain ourselves. my husband and I, the support groups really, really give us ideas and give us new solutions to problems that we both could not solve on our own. And the church world can be clueless. And a lot of things that people don't understand that we deal with in the support group is private, but you're open to share about your pain. You could be grieving. You could be in pain about the way your partner is treating you and not even know how to talk about it. You can't talk about like things that my husband and I been through. I couldn't talk about it with my family. And when I got, support groups have their method of doing things, but the one thing that people don't understand, those groups have a lot of wisdom. And the one thing about the church, we're not knocking the church. It's just that in today's time, we understand one thing. People need help. People need to be able to talk about their problems. When I mean by problems, all type of problems. It ain't just addictions. It's not just about verbal abuse. It's not about just sexual abuse. It's just people with problems have nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, nobody to talk to. And that's what the support group is. And that's what make our marriage work a lot of times, because we see that we ain't by ourselves. A lot of people have different type of lifestyles. You got people living in different situations, dealing with different relatives, dealing with in-laws. We hear some really deep things in there. And it really shows us how good we are doing. At the end of the day, we're making it. And the reason why we're making it, because we hear in that support group things we need to hear to keep us motivated and uplifted. And you cannot get that in church. I'm not knocking church. It's just that we're in a different time. We're dealing with different problems, different situations. People are struggling in relationships and don't have a clue about how to get help about it. And the one thing that, the old way, the traditional way, it doesn't work. The old way used to be you'd be able to go to church. Not in today's time. You need to talk to the right people. You need to surround yourself and hear what the real world is dealing with. And if you stand in your own comfort zone all the time, the world is in a new direction. They're not about family today. That's just the real. They're not about taking care of kids. They don't want to help you the way you need to be helped. And a support group educates you on what's the up-to-date issues, how to handle that up-to-date issue, things that you're not even aware of. Just numerous of problems. And that's why we really want to talk about support. We want to support marriages that are struggling with addiction, porn, problems people don't want to talk about. People don't want to share their dirt. People don't want to hear the truth. People don't want to hear the reality. But reality is, my husband and I been through hell. That's just the real. And we made it. But we had to learn how we both can't just do it. We both can't just do it can't do it just my way. We can't do it just this way. We deal with all type of issues that people are too afraid to talk about. Oh, that's personal. Personal my butt. Reality is you hurt. You had your feelings hurt. You may have, you deal with problems that you don't want to talk about. But their support group gives you that place. And hearing the stories really make you cry and see that you're not alone. You're not the only one struggling with family issues. You're not being accepted because you got an addiction problem. You're not accepted because of so-and-so saying this and so-and-so saying that. When you hear people going through a lot, the one thing you got to understand, you're not alone. You're not the only person going through a type of relationship. Your father, son not in the life. Your kid got a handicap problem. You don't have no financial support team to help you take care of your family. Volunteering also helps as well. When you volunteer, you meeting people who are in need. They could be in need of just seeing somebody good. Right now we're dealing with times where majority of this world is on addicts. All type of addicts. But we too afraid to talk about it. In the support group, we hear it. This kid's coming out of college, struggling, fake jaking the parent. They on drugs. Just on the real. People in relationships struggling and making work because they don't have the wisdom. We have to get support in a new way. And that's what me and my husband are promoting. It's a process. We're not looking for overnight success. We're just trying to open the door, shed some light, let people know the real. And the real is support groups It's definitely a place to go. You have no one to talk to. You know, if you can't go to a support group, that's for people that's with low income, no problem. Pay a counselor. Pay for a therapist. Most people's job have it now. And I recommend people to do it because it teaches you a lot. You can't consume all these problems that's coming at you from relative to a job to your children, and you're carrying all that inside of you trying to function in today's world. You will fall apart. And I've been there. I was a boiling volcano. And the one thing that I didn't do, I did not communicate. I didn't know about support groups, but they have them. People just don't know about it, and especially with marriages and relationships with mother and daughters, siblings, children. Your problems you have in church. You understand? You have so many people with issues that people just are unaware of, and that's what our show is about. And the one thing about us, we are a success. We may not have all the things that the world say we should be. I should have my own business. My husband should be this. I should be that. We have one another. That's what you need. You need somebody that you can really call a friend. Somebody there for you no matter what. And that's hard to find in today's time.
Yes.
It's like finding a contractor to do your house and they may not do the job.
Yes.
And that's what type of times we're in. And that's why we're doing this show. And we will continue to do this show. We're not looking for overnight success, but we are in great need and great demand. Because the one thing that I tell people, I am so grateful for changing from the traditional woman that I used to be. And I had to grow from that. Back to you, Mr. Delgado.
Thank you, Ms. Kenyatta. And in closing, I'd like to say that the one thing that I experienced today, and that the truth is that we're in a new world. This world is not the way it used to be. It's a whole different pace. It's a whole different place. And people are moving in directions that's totally different, And we don't have anything against the church. Don't think that we're downplaying the church, because we still continue to go to church. It's just that when we're looking for support, we're looking for someone to comfort or someone to listen to us, we choose to go to support groups. And we've been married for 23 years, and it wasn't always easy, and we always say that. And the purpose that we're doing this show is because we just want to be a marriage support for those that's married or in a relationship that may be struggling with different situations in their marriage. And because of our experience and our wisdom of going through what we went through the years that we've been together, we just want to share and give back by helping others. So I hope tonight's show will help somebody, touch somebody, or reach somebody and make them understand that there is help out there. And that's what we're trying to give. So, as we always say at the end of the show, love, peace, and togetherness, and good night.